Hello, I'm Dr. Yvonne, and I'm here today to share with you the secrets of the minor arcana of the tarot. They're called the lesser secrets. The greater secrets are the 22 major cards that represent, I guess, the black and white outline, the pen drawing of the story you're telling. This smaller cards, the younger cards, the 56 other cards represent coloring in that picture for everybody. So it gives you a lot more clues as to what's going on. So let's make a start. We're starting with the wands. There's my contact information. Ta-da. I've been teaching NLP and hypnosis for many, many years now. And one of the reasons was that I used to do readings for people, and they would come year after year and never having made any of the changes that I recommended that they do. So with the hypnosis and NLP, they have no choice. They have to make changes when I work with them. So it was a great kind of lead on from doing the tarot, from doing palmistry and numerology, to go into actually making changes happen with people and clearing their limiting beliefs and negative emotions. So that's what I love doing. I do it daily, and I still love the tarot after 40 years. So here we go. So the minor secrets, the lesser secrets, consists of 56 cards divided into 4 suits of 14 cards each, 10 numbered cards and 4 court cards. The court cards are the King, Queen, Knight, and Page and Jack. And in each of the 4 tarot suits, these cards are there. The traditional Italian tarot suits are swords, batons or wands, I call them wands, coins or pentacles, I like the word pentacles because I like the word pentacles, and cups, and the ancient elements, of course. The wands are represented by fire. It indicates change, intuition, spirit, action of the will, inspiration, creativity, energy, initiative, goal-directed activity. So wands, if you think about, I always think about the wands as having a beautiful calm water, and there's things happening underneath the water. There's a current happening underneath the water, which is bringing in the change. So that the wands are important from the perspective of it's things happening that we're not even aware of, and it's bringing us new interesting things to look at. One of the ancient elements is earth, and that represents pentacles, money. And we love the pentacles cards, don't we? The money cards. It's sensation, it's materiality, strength, endurance, growth, reliability, practicality, accumulation. So whenever pentacles pop up, you know we're talking about money and self-worth. The next one is air, swords. The swords are really the only cards in the tarot pack that we need to look out for because they represent conflict. It's thinking, thoughts, spoken and written communication, strife and conflict, expression of the mind. So whenever you have swords coming up, you're looking at the cards either side of it. If it's something like the Ace of Swords with a couple of nice cards around it, it says, you know, cut off from the past, clear out the way. If it's something like the Ace of Swords with the Knight of Swords, which is actually the true death card, and the Nine of Swords, which is probably the least good card in the pack because it's really not about illness, then we need to say, is someone having an operation? Or it could even represent a death. So we don't ever say, you know, this is a death. We say, is someone going to? Is there an older person expected to? Be very careful with your language, please, because what happens is that people really go for what you've said that's negative. So make sure that it's all positive. They're coming to you for a happy thought. They're not in a good place when they come to you, and they just want to be cheered up. They just want some optimism. And it's amazing that when they see you again, even if what you say doesn't happen, they'll still come back because they felt great when you left them. And as you get to know the cards and get to know how to tune in with people, what you'll find is it's amazing how quickly you'll catch on to the real meanings and actually tune in with their energy and be able to go in with past, present, and future, which are not really real. It's all one. And we can literally dip in and out of the past and into the future very easily using our intuition. And it increases your intuition as you use the cards, which is even better. The cups are represented by water, which is emotion, of course. And the cups are about feelings, actions, of the emotions, love, affection, dreams, desires, fantasies, pleasures, friendship, social activity, romance, and receptivity. So we are going to start with wands, the fire element. The Ace of Wands. Anyway, you see an ace, it's a new beginning. You have 4 aces in the pack. And this ace is a beautiful card that represents a whole rebirth. It's a new beginning. It's spring. Look at the beautiful the branch here with some wonderful new growth on it, new rebirth on it. And of course, there's a handhold in that card, which says it's up to you to make those changes. Go ahead and make some creative thoughts, do some new beginnings. If we look in the background, there's an actual mountain there with a little castle on top, and that's starting as moving towards the future. If you look here, there's a little river with trees around it. It's a very happy scene, actually. So it literally says we're going from the darkness into the light. We're going to open up some new beginnings and start again. The Two of Wands. The two is very definitely a card that says that it's a crossroads number. In numerology, two is about relationships, but it's also about making decisions. It's about crossroads. The two is about which direction am I going to go in? It's about change in direction. It's as we come up to the crossroads, which way are we going? This is a nice card. It's contemplation, assessing one's life direction, harvest home, reaping rewards. It's waiting for his ship to come in. If you look at the water, the mountains, the beautiful scene there, it's all very happy in the whole scene. And he's got the world in his hand, look, which is very useful to know, because it says the world's in your hand. Which way would you like to go with this? And he's very well protected. He's got his cloak on, he's got his hat, he's actually got the protection there as well. With each card, you're going to learn to look for new things. He's actually on the battlements of a castle, look. You can see the battlements here. And he's standing on the very top, looking out over the horizons. So he's actually looking at new horizons. The Three of Wands, if you notice, again, we've got with the wands, the regrowth on each of the branches, which is very good. 3 is a wonderful number in numerology. It's about self-empowerment. It's the middle chakra. It's the one that represents a triangle, which is balance and joy and harmony. And 3 is about self-empowerment, reaping the rewards for your efforts, waiting for your ship to come in. And you can see he's actually looking out. In other words, when this comes up in a reading, you're going to say your ship's about to come in. You've got some really good things on the way. Very, very simple. The Four of Wands. Fours don't usually represent a great number in numerology. However, the 4 can represent not just 4 prison walls that you put yourself in, it can also represent 4 foundations for the future, a home, a new marriage, a new career. Very interesting. The 4 is, in this case, a new beginning. It's the marriage card. So if someone says, you know, am I going to get married, or when am I going to get married? When this card comes up, you know that, yes, there's a marriage on the horizon. They're in a marriage vibration right now. And of course, if you're looking with the major cards either side of it, you'll know the timing. I'm going to talk about the timing when we do the live readings, so I can show you how the timings fit together with all the cards together. It's a beautiful card. It's a celebration. You can say, is there a birthday celebration coming up, or is someone getting married? And they'll immediately go, how did you know that? Right? And you've got the timing for that. So of course, if you've got Pisces, for instance, 21st of February to 21st of March, you can say during the time of Pisces. And that will be interesting, because they'll say, how did you know? And it's very interesting when you actually bring the timings together with the astrology, with the numerology, how everything fits together beautifully. So this says it's safe. Did we choose the right marriage? The 5 of Wands is about communication. So it's a bit of competition, minor issues or disagreements. It's about gossip. The 5 is about the throat chakra. Remember, the 5 is the 5th chakra, the throat chakra, which says communication. And it says someone's not been communicating very well, because look at the arguments happening. It's not a big deal card, though. It's no big arguments. It's about petty disagreements rather than anything else. And if you look, it's almost like play fighting. So it's not major issues. It's about minor issues that are causing a few little issues around. It's not big importance in the thing. It just says you need to communicate better. We look at the 6 of Wands, which is a fabulous card. Success, victory, accolades, and achievement. He's got the beautiful circle around his head. He's got the laurel leaves around his head, which says, I am victorious. 6 is about relationships, of course. So in numerology. So we're looking at accolades and achievement, maybe getting an award. Whatever you do with this card, it says you will be successful. You will be victorious. It's going to turn out very, very nicely indeed. And interesting that the lower vibration of the 6 in numerology is marriage, is relationships. The higher vibration of the 6 is about helping humanity and making a difference and leaving your mark and leaving your mark on the world. So it's a really lovely card, whatever reading it comes up. If it comes upside down, don't bother learning the upside down meanings. It's not worth it. It just means it takes away from the energy of the card a little bit. So if it's an upside down 6 of Wands, what it says is there'll be victory, not as big as you'd hope though, but there will be victory. So yeah, the upside down meanings, I did years trying to get to know them, and I finally gave up because it doesn't mean what they say it means for some reason. The 7. Now, the 7 is interesting because 7 in numerology is spiritual growth. So this guy has actually grown spiritually. He's feeling defensive and on guard, but actually look, he's actually sorting the issues out. He's sorting the challenges. He's ready to overcome. He's the one the issues aren't as big as he thinks they are, look, because every single one of these ones has that rebirth, that possibility of rebirth. And he's actually at the top of, he's at the peak of the mountain here. So he's actually looking down at the issues from a better perspective. So he's actually looking down and seeing that he's in control of this. The 7 spiritual growth card also means connection with spirit. So it's time to meditate. It's time to do some hypnosis, remembering that 20 minutes of hypnosis is equal to 4 hours sleep. Well worth doing every day. And yeah, before I used to do a reading, I would always meditate. And I would find that these days, because I meditate every morning and every night, I'm always kind of connected to that center, that I'm always recentering myself daily. The 8 of Wands, I love this card. This represents the 8, of course, being the number of money, the number of self-worth, the number of everything going right. I've never met an 8 year that I haven't loved. It's about speeding things, manifesting, underground current in your favor. This is where the lake is smooth and the current is running through and bringing in new things. It's absolutely wonderful. If you look at that card, it's like throwing an arrow into the future and lots of different ideas coming. So things manifesting. The scene is beautiful. Look, you've got this beautiful water again, the lake here, a little castle here in the distance that we're always aiming towards with the tarot cards, and the beautiful blue sky ahead. So yeah, it's a really lovely card. It definitely says there are changes on the way. Watch out, they're good. We go on to the next one, the 9 of Wands. Of course. This one is kind of minor illnesses. He's got a bandage around his head. He's not a happy camper. The 9 of Wands literally is about, 9's about endings. So anxiety is represented by this card, pessimism, looking at the least good thing that's going to happen. If you look at the background, it's very barren back here. Look, it's very barren. And he's got one issue and he's thinking about all the other issues instead of the one issue he's got in his hand. So it says, stop thinking about everything around you, get grounded, do your meditation, do your hypnosis. Sometimes it can represent the flu or minor illnesses. So you just say, make sure your immune system's good when you see this card, because it's not serious illnesses. It's just about catching colds or coughs or little things. So it says, just watch out and make sure you build your immune system up this next month because your immune system's barely down right now. That's it. Simple as that. We always want to give good news. However, we need to let people know what to do to prevent negative things happening. The 10 of Wands, it's kind of, he's taken on too many responsibilities. That's probably what caused the previous card as well. 10 is the number 1 plus 0, which is a 1. So it says, I've taken on too much. I'm feeling oppressed, exhausted. I've got too many responsibilities. It's weighing me down. So what this says is, when it comes up in a reading, you've taken on too much. Start to give up to other people. Start to delegate a bit more. Stop thinking you have to be in charge of everything. You have to be responsible for everything. Because number 1, remember, is it's all about me. And we take on too many people. You know, it's time to realize we haven't got that many shoulders for people to stand on anymore. And it's basically time to stop throwing yourself under the bus. It's time to let people have their own way in their own life and learn their own lessons. It's not your job to learn it for them. Okay? There are too many responsibilities. We go then to the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands It's a nice little card. It represents quite often a young girl, a young child. So if someone says, am I having a boy or a girl? It comes through as the page of wands, a little girl. Or you can say, have you got a little girl? Because it's showing a little girl up here. It can represent a very feminine boy, actually. I always find when you're predicting a boy or a girl, it's not a boy or a girl, it's a male or a female energy. I know when I got pregnant, I had an aura picture done, and I was convinced it was a boy. He just said it's a boy for sure. Look at all that orange, that active energy. And I'm like, what? We thought so too. And turns out it's a girl, and she was very active. So it's not about male or female, it's about how much male or female energy is with that person or child. It's a young girl or your own inner child. If this represents your inner child, it says she's okay. She's going along right now. She's not greatly happy. However, she's not unhappy either. She's just going on the journey. And it just says, get excited about life and work. It's time. It's to be newly inspired. It's think of new beginnings. And of course, the pages are kind of like servants, I guess. And it's your inner mind servant. It's representing who you are inside. The Knight of Wands. I like this card as a communication card because he's on his horse. He's traveling from one country to another. He's taking a message to someone. You know, they used to send messages on horseback from king to king. So the knight is an adventurous risk taker. He follows his passions. Communication is needed. It says, you know, someone says to you, how do I get a new job? You need to communicate. You need to get your resume together. You need to really start communicating with people and asking people. Someone says, how am I going to meet my husband or wife? And you say, you need to ask all your friends. Who do they know who's single? Communicate. Actually ask the questions. Get online. Start to make that communication work for you. And it literally, you are in charge here. He's successful. He's a very successful knight, remember. To be a knight, you have to have integrity. To be a knight, you have to have passion. You have to have a cause, a passion for living, a purpose in life. So it says, go ahead and find your passion, communicate what you need, go for a different direction. The next card is the Queen of Wands. She's confident, focused, has a zest for life, not overly ambitious. If I've got a lady in front of me who's a Queen of Wands, and I'll say this represents you, it's a housewife, it's someone who's doing an ordinary job, it's someone who's a nice lady, really. If you've got a businesswoman in front of you, you need to say you're being way too wishy-washy. If you're representing yourself as the Queen of Wands, you need to get your act together and really get going and represent yourself rather as the Queen of Pentacles or the Empress. The Queen of Wands is a nice lady. If you've got a King of Wands in front of you, he shows himself up as a King of Wands and he brings in the Queen of Wands, that's a great match. If he's a King of Pentacles, though, and he brings in the Queen of Wands next to him, you're going to say, this isn't the woman for you. She's too needy. All right. So we need to have equal, when we've got the different representations of people, we need to have the equal representation. There's a black cat there at the foot of her. She's intuitive. She's got a nice flower in her left hand. And that beautiful, like sunflower represents that she can see the big picture. The sunflower also represents the sun shining, the summertime, and it also represents the crown chakra, of course, because the crown chakra is represented by a many-petal flower or many-petal lotus. So she's in touch. She's actually very nice. She has on her right hand the lion. She's got the strength. She's got the male and the female on the other side. The Sphinx is the intuition. So she's got a nice balance in life. So she's not overly ambitious, though. The King of Wands, a nice guy, mature, passionate, great husband and father. Again, someone who's not going to be the head of a company. So if a man comes to you, for instance, and he has this showing up, you need to say, have you thought of changing your job? Because this is not satisfying you. And he'll say, yes, I've been trying to get up in this company for years. And you need to say, you know, apply for a new job because this is not going to be something you thoroughly enjoy. It's great for like a family man. And if it's an ambitious businessman, it's not going to work for him if he shows himself like this. It's a king. He's still, you know, well liked. He's well represented, and he's just looking out, hoping things are going to get better. The King of Wands is really mature and passionate. He'd make a great husband and father. May not be for someone who, for instance, is a very ambitious woman who shows herself as the Queen of Pentacles or the Empress, it's not going to be a good match for her, because she's going to have to mother him or look after him and be his mom. So for sure, where you've got to look out for the cards and think, who does this represent in this person's life? If it's someone who is looking for people to work for them, this would be someone who would work for them. He wouldn't take over. He would get along with people, who would be a nice guy. And he's got a crown. He's able to take responsibility and be responsible, and he has integrity. Good. So that's it on the wands. We're going to do next one of the other four minor arcana, and get ready for the next one. It's going to be fun.